Hey, third grade art friends, it's Mrs. Herbay. I wanted to go over a couple things with you this week in relation to our project. This is kind of, I wanted to show you the leaves with the background that I printed last week. But what I wanted to do was, we're not going to go on to the background this week. I wanted to just go back and reinforce a little bit of learning because some of my friends here at school, I was noticing some issues that they were having. And so I'm not sure if you are having the same issues. So I wanted to go back and just cover a few things. But just to kind of encourage you, this is sort of what we're working for. We're going to end up printing leaves so that they look like, you know how sometimes leaves are like floating on the top of the water. So they look like they're kind of floating on the top of the water. I probably will print a few more leaves. So rather than just have two, I'll have a couple more. But let's go back to drawing leaves from observation. Some of my friends here at school were having trouble doing this. And so what I thought I would do is I would talk about a couple strategies that might help you when you're drawing leaves from observation. So obviously you can go out in your yard. There are leaves everywhere right now. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the leaves have been, the colors have been absolutely spectacular. If you don't want to do that and you would prefer to choose one of the leaves off the worksheet that I gave you, that is okay too. What I'm going to do is kind of show you some strategies based on these leaves on this worksheet, but a lot of these leaves on the worksheet you could also find in your yard, okay? So the first one I'm going to talk about is this leaf right here. And this leaf pretty much is symmetrical. And if you remember that word from last year, it means, or gosh, from maybe first grade or second grade, it means the same on both sides. So what you could do is, let's say you want to draw this leaf here. What you can do is you can say, okay, I'm going to draw the stem and then I'm going to draw this main vein that goes up through the middle of the leaf. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to leave a little bit of space on my paper so I have room to do it. So I'm going to go down like this, and I notice the stem is about this long, so I'm checking it, and then I'm just kind of going back up like that. So there's my stem, all right? And then I'm going to go ahead and draw this vein. Now this vein doesn't go straight up. It kind of curves a little bit off to the side, okay? And there we go. And I might have drawn it a little bit too high, so I'm just going to erase a little bit of it. And sometimes what I like to do is you can kind of measure with your fingers, okay? Then I'm going to say to myself, okay, there's one half and the other half. Now, the first half, if I look at this line, right, it goes up a little bit and then down and it curves up. And it's pretty much a diagonal line. It's going off to the side. So even if I'm going to draw this line a little bit darker than I would normally, but notice this line is going diagonally. So I just put a little bit of a diagonal line to give myself the direction I'm going. So then what you're going to do is you're going to do the little bit of the curve, the little bit of this, and then it points up, all right? And then what I can do is I can just erase that little bit of light line there. Now, if I look at what this line does next, I see that it comes pretty much straight down. So again, I'm just going to draw straight down. So I think where it's going to stop, all right? Now I notice that this line, again, it's not straight across, it's not horizontal, it's slightly diagonal down, all right? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of, and it's a little bit curvy, draw that slight diagonal down. There we go. All right, then I notice there's kind of a little knob at the end, and then it just curves. It curves down and around to the end down here, right? So this is my end point, this is my beginning point. So what I can do is I can lightly sort of draw a curve there for me to kind of follow. So I'm just gonna go up because there's a little bit of point on the end, and then I'm just going to carefully draw that curve. Oh my gosh, I drew half of the leaf, all right? Now I'm gonna use the same strategy on the other side. I'm gonna look up here at the top and I'm gonna say, okay, there is a diagonal line. So I'm just lightly drawing that diagonal line that kind of goes up to this corner. And again, the line, if I look at it, it sort of curves up, dips down, and goes back up. So I'm just going to go curve up, dip down, go back up. And you can kind of talk to yourself while you're doing it. And then again, I could just erase this little light guideline that I drew myself. Now again, this one is going to come straight down. It's vertical, but it has a little bit of a wobble to it because leaves are not perfectly, they're organic, so that their shapes are not perfectly like cut out, like we would do if we were like doing like a leaf cutout or something like that. Now I see maybe it's a little bit longer. All right. And then I notice that it curves sort of a little bit diagonal out like this. Now, oops, I'm going to run out of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of improvise. So I'll go out as far as I can. Now, it probably should go out a little further, but that's okay. And then this is the same part where it's going to curve and then go back here. All right. So again, I'm going to curve down and around and back. All right. So there you have it. There's my leaf. Now, when you go to draw the veins, look at the veins that are on the sheet here. Veins do not go horizontally, right? They are pretty much diagonal lines. So I'm going to look and see, okay, there's and usually the main vein here, veins usually go all the way out to the points. So I see, okay, there's one up here at this point, and it's diagonal down to this one, all right? And then I see the same thing up in this corner. There's one that's diagonal down to right there. Then if I look over here, there's another one here that comes down to where the stem is. So I'm going to do that one. And then I see there's one that goes here nearly up to there, okay? So there's some of the main ones. And then I'm just going to look and see, okay, where are there some other veins? So there's a vein that goes like a Y right here. So it kind of goes up and then it makes the letter Y. And then there's a little vein that comes off of this main one. And then there's another vein that's a diagonal line and then it has a line up like that. All right. Then on this side, I see there's a diagonal line that's a little bit above that one. And then I see one underneath. There's a little bit of a vein coming off of this one. There's another Y on this one up into this area with another little vein coming off. And then there's 3 veins that kind of come like this. So the veins kind of they're diagonal and they also kind of fit into the contour of the leaf shape. They mimic the shape of the leaf. So when you draw your veins, be particularly careful of that point. Now, if I look at this worksheet and I see this leaf, well, what other leaf can we see that would be drawn in a similar way? What other 2 leaves have pretty much symmetry? Well, I see this leaf right here. So this would be a similar strategy as this leaf, where you would draw the stem and then that main tall vein, and then you would draw one side and then the other side. All right. This leaf could also be done like that, where you draw the main stem and then you work your way off of that. So I demonstrated that once before, but I'll show you again. So if I did this one right here, I would draw the stem, and then this vein just curves up like that. All right. And then I'm going to look, okay, where does this first leaf on this stem end? Well, it ends about right here. So I'm going to put a little mark there. All right. And then I see that the shape of the leaf curves out and then it ends right here. So I'm just going to curve out. It's like going up a hill, and then I'm going back down the hill. Same thing on this side. I'm going to go out, so I'm slowly going up a hill, and then I'm going down a hill. Ta-da! then I notice, oh, there's another leaf that does the same thing over here. So, and the edges of the leaf are a little bit wavy, and it curves all the way out over here. I ran out of space, but that's okay. And then this one kind of comes and goes up here and goes like that. All right. And then there's another one that's right here that kind of, it's a wavy, goes up the hill, down the hill, and around like that. All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side where this leaf here, it curves up and it goes over and over, and then it curves around and goes like that. And then this leaf, same thing, is underneath there. And there we go. And let's say this was your good paper and you wanted, you're like, darn it, I can't fit this second leaf on. Here's a little way that you could cheat it. So what you can do is you can have these two lines kind of meet right there, and then that's now the new end to your leaf. Same thing again, when you draw the veins, you're going to look and see, oh, this has a vein that goes all the way up to the middle. So it's from the point down to the point. These are the same, point down to here, point up to here. And then these veins are, the side veins are diagonal, okay? And the more details you include on your leaves when we do the printmaking, the nicer they are going to look. So there is a strategy on how to draw some of these leaves that have symmetry. Now, I'm going to give you a chance to maybe practice that, and then I'm going to take just a few seconds and demonstrate a couple of the other leaves on the worksheet. All right, friends, I am back. Now, a couple other leaves that are on this worksheet that we can talk about. These two leaves right here have these jagged edges, and that may trip you up a little bit. But what I want to show you is that you can draw these leaves without those jagged edges and then go back and put them on. So what you can do is this. You can draw the, so I see that this stem, it has a little stem right here like this. And then this main vein kind of goes up and then over like that, all right? But it's still, this leaf is still curved out and around, just like how we drew these leaves, these smaller leaves right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start at the top and I'm going to curve out, and I'm really gonna go up, and then I'm going to come back down where that little stem starts. Same thing over here. I'm going to go up and then I'm going to come back down. All right, so now I have this nice leaf shape. Oh, how do I put the little jagged parts on now? Well, what I can do is I can start at the bottom here and I see, oh, it's sort of like drawing steps. So I'm kind of coming in and then I'm going back out to the edge, and then I'm coming in and back out to the edge. So it's like a little bit of like a side zigzag. So I'm coming in and then going back up, in and out. And you can decide how much you want to go in and out. And I'm just kind of going in and up, in and up. And there you have it. And you don't even have to bother erasing this curved line, because when we go over the leaf design with our pen, you will just trace over this outer line, so you don't even need to worry about it. Now let's think about it on this other side. Now on this other side, the line kind of curves up and it kind of goes out and around, and then as it goes in, then it comes out, and it goes in and out. So it's in, out to the edge, in, out to the edge, in. So I'm just drawing these little diagonal lines, and there we go. And does it look exactly like this leaf? No, but it has its own personality, and we can tell that it is this. These are in the same family, right? And then we notice that the rest of these leaves have a lot of veins, and a lot of the veins start at the points and then go diagonally back to the main vein there. All right, and then you would go ahead and fill those in. This leaf, you would do the exact same way, where you would draw the little stem, and then you're just going to draw this nice long vein. You can kind of measure with your fingers about out that far. Now this leaf does not go out and around like that. It only goes up and around a little bit. So it's more of a narrow curve. So then same thing, I'm going to just draw like that. So there's the curve of it. Then same thing, I'm going to start to draw so it goes up a little bit, and then it does its little, it's almost like on this leaf, they're almost like doing, you know, like the wavy lines where we go like this. It's almost like that, where you're adding just this curve like that, all right? And then same thing, it's gonna kind of go up like this, and then I'm just drawing that wavy line. This is where you really see how important Mrs. Herbay has you guys drawing lines a lot and doing pattern practice and lines and more lines. And this is why, because the better you are at drawing lines, the better your drawing is. So there I have my nice ragged edge of this leaf, and then I'm able to go ahead and put all those nice diagonal veins. So there's just a couple more leaves left on this, and I'm going to just talk to you about this leaf and this leaf. These leaves are not symmetrical, but again, what you can do is you can draw I'm just gonna flip my paper over. You can think about drawing the main vein of the leaf first. And so this one sort of curves out and then just kind of curves up like that. And again, you don't have to draw it exactly, so it kind of curves out and then it goes up, all right? And there's my leaf, or my vein. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start at the tippy top here where this vein ends. And I see that there is a curved line that comes down and then curves out like this. So it's a curved line out like that. Then I see it curves, and it's a diagonal line, so it's coming down. And this is really the letter U, right? So I'm just gonna make the letter U. And then it curves around and down. And then it goes back to the vein, but not quite, and it's kind of a really narrow U where I then come down like this, and this line goes really far down. I have a little U. So when I'm drawing a maple leaf, I want to think about, it's a lot of really deep curvy lines. So it's the lines like where we go like this, right? Then same thing on the other side. Now this side is not the same as the other side, but that's okay. I see that, oh, there's a little bit of a curve that goes up and around, and then it goes down. And just talk to yourself as you're looking at the line. And then it's gonna go, it's U-ing back up, and it's curving around, and then it's going down. Now this one, and these are all kind of diagonally coming off of this. All right, now is this exactly like this? No, but does it look like a maple leaf? Yes. And then when I go to put the veins, again, I'm just going to, I'm just gonna look and see where they are. And if you have a real leaf from your yard, you can kind of study it a little bit more, but you notice that the veins all come from the tippy edge of these long leaves, or the long little portions of the leaf. See, like that? And if you wanted to get fancy, you could draw other ones too. But there you have that one. Now, we would do the same thing for this leaf, where we're gonna draw this curved, it's a little bit of a diagonal line here, if I have my paper like this, right? And I'm just gonna erase my wavy lines here. Whoops. And on this one, again, I would do, all right, how far down is this? Well, it's about to here. So the rest of this line is a stem. So I just drew another line next to it to give it some dimension. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to think about, all right, well, this is a curve, right? So if I lightly draw that curve, there's that. Then there's another curve that kind of comes down and then goes out like that. And then a curve, and a curve, and a curve, and a curve. Now, I simplified it a little bit. You can go back once you draw those curves and add some of the little wiggly wobblies that are on there. All right, and so I see, oh, there's a little bit of line there. It gets a little funny in there, a little wobblier in here. But once you have that basic shape, then you can kind of go back and tweak it. So then same thing on the other side. I notice this is a diagonal line down, right? So you can even just draw your diagonal line down. And then it curves up like that. Then, oh, I see it goes down, but then it curves out like that. And then it's basically a curve down, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. All right? Then again, I can go back and I see it comes up and kind of curves. Now here there's like a little bit of another curve right there. This is a little bit wavy. This is too. This kind of comes in and out, and that's okay. There's a little thing here. All right? And then same thing, my veins are going to come from these main points first. And I'm looking to see where this guy is. Okay? And then you can go back and add your other diagonal lines. I hope that helps. If it was too much information, obviously you can fast forward through it, but I hope that this kind of gives you guys a little bit more strategies to think about drawing leaves in more of a realistic manner. All right, guys, so last week I demonstrated how to put your leaf drawings onto styrofoam and how to print the leaves. And so what I will do is, if you went ahead and did that last week, great, if you were excited to do it, but you weren't required to do it. And so what I'm gonna do is, again this week, I will post a video on, once you have your 2 leaf drawings done, how you then transfer them onto styrofoam. If you had a mishap with the styrofoam or you need more paper, please just send me a note through Canvas and I can give you extra materials this week if you need them. All right, I'll talk to you guys on Friday.